Hello, my name is Steve Corcoran with Woods and Water Outdoors. Most of you probably know my brother Patrick from his tine videos, and obviously working with him with the fishing tine material business. But I'm the woods part of Woods and Water Outdoors. I do the woodworking. So at the beginning of the year, we started selling a new product called Wedge tails, and it was a product that a guy by the name of Mike Campbell in Ohio, Spillway Baits, had developed. He'd been hand cutting these things, and it became quite popular, and asked if we would be interested in selling them with the intention of that we would come up with a mechanical style cutting system for these products, and we did that. I came up with something initially. It wasn't quite as efficiently before we decided to offer anything for someone to purchase to cut their own tails. But I've developed a system, or we developed a system that's a much more efficient. You get a lot more tails, or get the maximum amount of tails you can out of a sheet. And it's simple, it's easy. So we're going to show a video here on how to use the cutting system, and it is a system to take the sheets, cut the sheets up, and then obviously press the tails out of them. So I'm going to show you the different versions that we'll be offering with this, and exactly how to use the system itself. So first thing, kind of go over some of the components that we came up with. All of these things are machine constructed, precision constructed. Obviously this is the cutting plate. As you can see, it just has a series of razor blades in it that we build and put the razor blades in. The receiving plate, basically, that this fits into, and I'll show you how to pre-dimension these tabs to fit in there. And then this plate here fits on top of it, and it kind of pushes down, and that's what cuts the tails. So we'll sell this as a version. It will be also, but it's going to require you to have your own hand press. I've had this hand press for years with my business. It works great. You want to use a hand press so you can control the amount of pressure you put on this. It doesn't take a lot, but so we'll sell that if somebody has a hand press that they would like to use, or we actually have a complete system where you actually has the cutter, the pressure plate, and the press all together, where you don't have to do anything. The only thing that would be required is obviously fasten it down to your workbench. If you want to screw that to a board and clamp the board to a workbench so it's removable, it's quite easy to do. I have these screws holding mine down. The screw holes are there. It's part of the machining process when I actually construct the base plate. So the holes are ready there for you to screw it down to your workbench. The whole key to this thing is obviously you see a centering plate. You saw it on this block as well. To get the same result, the same dimension of these tails, you have to have it in the same spot every time. The cutter has to be in the same spot every time. So we kind of developed a way in which to do that. We will be selling the sheets. We have 80-something different colors. I haven't even done the complete count yet at this point, but most of them are listed on the website. I have a few more to put on there. But these are 6 by 6 inch sheets, and they're very consistent in that dimension. So you have this plate here, and as you can see, they have these lines in it, and it fits and centers over those sheets quite nicely, because like I say, those sheets are very consistent in size. Take straight edge razor. We'll supply one of these with the purchase of either one. You do get the template with either system that you buy, and you just pre-cut. I'm actually cutting 2 sheets at a time here. I don't know if a person wants to try to cut 3 at a time. That's really up to you. You can experiment with it. The system works efficiently enough. You're going to be cutting so many tails so quickly. I don't know if you want to get greedy like that. But then I'll take, and as you can see, you're going to have some tag ends. Obviously, I can't make that without having that. So you just take your razor blade, you'll find the ends of those cuts, and just push it down through there. It's not critical that you slice it anymore. The razor blade's plenty sharp. It'll cut just pushing straight down. So you just cut those. Like I say, I cut 2 sheets at the same time, so I've got 16 tabs here. Each tab will make 22 tails, and each sheet will make 176 tails. So I'll just pull them apart if need be. Sometimes you may miss part of the slice. It's no big deal. I have this set up. You can cut one sheet at a time, or one tab at a time, 2 tabs at a time. I even experimented yesterday with cutting 3 at a time, and it will do that. I prefer only cut 2 at a time, because when you start stacking this stuff too high, the lower parts of the sheets may start to squash and spread around, and they may not be as accurate. We want these tails to be the same. If they are, then they're easy to tie, because you're not messing with one tail that's one size and another tail that's the another size. So obviously there's the base plate. You can see the tab fits in there very accurately. You take the cutter. I do have a decal on the cutter. If you want consistent results, you have to have consistent practices. So I always put this decal or the logo on the same side of the base plate every time. You're just going to get the same results every time you do that. And then I have this facing towards me. If you have a hand press, this is what you do. And there's your tails. Now you notice there just a little bit that the razor blades did stick to the bottom plate during the break-in process. I realized this when I first started building these, that you will have to cut some lines, and it, like I say, that you're going to have to probably cut 1,000 of these things, and it'll get to a point where it won't stick like that anymore. But there's 44 tails. You do get, obviously on the ends, you have a square tab, but you have an angled end due to the design of the tail. You get a half wedge. If you want to use them for something, you sure can, but it's not a whole lot of waste. So then you just pull them out, and they are the same exact size every time. So it'll give you some efficiency in your tying. Obviously, you want that to go as quickly as possible when you're tying. You don't want to fidget with this size of tail and that size of tail. I do notice when I do cut 3 sheets, obviously it'll have a tendency to impact your tails further up in there, so you have to dig a little bit to get them out. But there's 44 tails in seconds, and they're all dimensionally identical. There's no difference in them. So it's quick, it's efficient, it's consistent. That's what we're looking for to do this. But that's this system here, that you would have to have your own hand press. I've tried messing around with a few other things, some clamps and stuff like that. It just doesn't seem to work as efficiently. This has a fairly wide surface on the bottom bolt, the press bolt on this thing, so it presses it evenly. So we did devise something else. If you don't have your own hand press and don't want the expense of that, we actually have our own version of a hand press, and it basically functions the same way. You'll take the tabs. And I like to pull my tabs apart, because once you cut them, then you got to sit there and try to pull them apart in smaller pieces. It's just time consuming. I'm trying to save a few seconds here and a few seconds there. You professional tiers know that every second counts when you're doing thousands of these things and you're tying thousands of jigs. So do that, put your press plate on top of it, and there's your cut. It's that quick, it's that simple. And like I say, you'll have your end pieces. You just pull them off. And there you got another 44 tails. So we like the system. It's efficient. If you do the math on this, we sell these sheets for $2.75 a piece. You do your math, 176 tails per sheet. That's less than 2 cents a piece. That's pretty cheap tail material in comparison to other materials that are out there. These tails they're quick to tie onto a jig. Like I say, we have 80 something different colors, so you can just about meet any color presentation you want by doing them. But it's an effective system. So we do have these for sale on our website now. as we speak. Just the press plate, the cutter, and the base plate are $65. The whole system, which obviously both of them include your cutting tab template, is $129. The blades are replaceable. They're just an 1.5 inch razor blade. You can pull them out. There's no pressure on the plate itself. So unless you do something catastrophic like step on or something like that, you're never going to break the plate. So this is a system, it's a lifetime system. And I don't know how many cuts you're going to get out of these razor blades. A straight down motion, a straight up motion doesn't really dull them. I've been cutting for tens of thousands of them with my other system, and the blades are still sharp. So you're going to have to cut a lot of tails to even get remotely close to dulling them. But that's the system that we have. Obviously, we have all kinds of different colors, and something that we're looking at trying to develop is obviously different patterns. I've come up with a split tail pattern, which is going to have a unique look. I'm trying to figure out how to get it where once you purchase this system, you don't need anything other than a new cutting plate. So working on that, of different things that we can offer with the silicone, with different presentations, different looks. We're going to try to develop along the way. So if you have any questions, you can always email, call. Patrick can redirect them to me if you have any questions about the system itself. I build these over here in my woodworking shop. Like I say, they're for sale right now along with the sheets. So appreciate the business that all of you have given us, the support you've given us from the years. We started this thing from scratch a little over 4 years ago, and it has been a real blessing for Patrick and I both. We both get to work out of our homes now. So I also want to give a shout out to Mike Campbell for actually bringing us in on this. So he innovated it, he started the market, and he allowed us to expand it. So you have any questions, give us a shout, email, anything, be happy to answer them. And hopefully we'll see you on the water. And thanks.